Hello everybody and welcome to another London bus restoration video from Routemaster for Hire. In this video, as you can see behind me, we've got the wing off of our M765, and the reason why we've taken the wing off is to get a little bit closer to the engine. We feel this engine is underpowered and we don't know why. We know the fuel pump is okay, so what we've done is we've taken the injectors out, they've gone away for overhaul, and while the injectors are out, we're going to adjust the tappets. So that's what we're going to do today. If you want to find out how to adjust the tappets on a 590 AEC engine, then keep watching.
So the first thing we need to do is to remove the air intake, and then that gives us access to this front rocker cover, and then we'll take the back one off as well. We have to be very careful not to drop anything down there.
First one come off.
Put those over here out the way.
There's the front one, minus its gasket.
So with the rocker covers removed, the next job is to set the tappets. So Dave's going to go inside the bus next and remove the flywheel cover. That way we can move the engine round by hand. I'm going to be out here and I can watch which rocker arm is moving. Now there's various different ways to set tappets, and the way I use is the number of cylinders plus 1. So it's a 6-cylinder engine, so plus 1 is 7. So if we start with number 1, plus 6 makes 7. So number 1, we set cylinder number 6. So when number 1 is at the point where neither inlet or exhaust valve is open, that's the point that we set number 6. So for number 2, we had 5, so we set number 5, and so on and so forth to do all 6 cylinders. So Dave's inside the bus and I'm out here. So we're going to start with number 3. I've got a screwdriver, the feeler gauges. Now it's 10,000, that's 10,000th of an inch on inlet and exhaust on a Routemaster, on an AEC 590. So we've got all the tools we need, and we're going to start with number 3. So if Dave starts barring the engine round, you can see the inlet valve's just going down now, and when the exhaust valve just starts to move, right, stop there, just go back slightly, right, stop there. So that's at the point where the two valves are just at the point where they're both closed. So because that's 3 and we're using the rule of 7, we add 4, so we're setting number 4. So this one is ready to set. Which doesn't feel too far out of adjustment. you just want it to be just nipped just through there. So what we'll do is just, if it had moved, which it won't, is undoing the lock nut. And then what you tend to find is when you lock the lock nut off again, it'll go slightly tighter than you've adjusted it. So I always leave it just off slightly. And that's going to move that. So if we lock that off now. Right, that's too tight. Undo it again. Wind that back slightly. And lock it up again. A little bit more on there. That's not far out now, so by the time we've locked that off, that's perfect. It's just nipping it just in the middle when we push the feeler gauges through. The inlet valve is fine, that doesn't need adjusting. Give the feeler gauges a wipe. One final check through the inlet and through the exhaust. There we go, so on to the next one. So we watched number 3 before, so the firing order of a 6-cylinder engine is 153624, so 6 is the next one with the inlet valve down, so if Dave carries on barring round. Okay, so we're on number 6, so we add 1 to get to 7, so we're going to set number 1. That's very loose, so they definitely need adjusting. So that's all 12 tappets adjusted, all 6 cylinders. So we've got to put the rocker covers back on, but not yet, because what we do, after we set a set of tappets, we always check that we've got oil up to every rocker, and we also go along and feel each one, because it can tell a lot through the feel of what it's doing. But we can't do that this evening because the injectors are away with the injector company, but they'll be back in the morning and we'll be able to show you that later on. So the injectors are back from having their pressures reset, so we just need to put all 6 back in and then we can run the engine up.
When we got the injectors back, the specialist reported that 2 of them were not running at the correct pressure. No doubt this would have caused the engine to be underpowered and quite probably also given us poor fuel economy too.
It's easier if you just put the pipes on loose first, because you can still move the injector about a bit. Now we're not going to tighten these all the way up until we've just got the air out the fuel system and prime the fuel up to the injectors. So we'll just nip them up and back a little bit. So now all 6 injectors are back in place. We've got the 6 leak-off pipes to put back on between the injector and the leak-off rail, and then we can run it up and see what it's like. There we go, so that's all the leak-off pipes on. The next job's to run it up. Right, give it a go. Right, stop there. Right, go again.
Everything clear?
Handbrake on, we're moving.
It's on the stands.
Yeah.
The battery might have had it.
There.
Yeah. Put the battery on charge.
So, we've just put the batteries on charge, so we'll try again. Okay, Dave. Try again now.
You didn't turn the fuel off, did you?
Yeah.
That'll be why.
there we go. It's running nice. There's no fuel leaks on any of the injectors we've just put back in, and there's oil up to all the rockers. There's no funny movements going on, and they all feel nice and tight. So job well done. Put the rocker covers back on and we'll take it out for a run.
I think that's right, mate. Yeah, it is. He's sitting at the front of the unit looking back going, right, if anything's coming past me, I'm getting on it. Shall I put the kettle on while you're doing the bolts up?
Yeah.
You want for it, Alan? And the good news is, on the road run, the engine sounded great and pulled much better. It just goes to show, keeping on top of some basic maintenance really does help to keep these old engines in tip-top condition. Remember, if you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, and if you've not done so already, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes. From all of us here at Routemaster for Hire, thank you for watching. The outtakes are on the way next, and until next time, bye-bye. Hello everybody and welcome to another London bus restoration video from Routemaster for Hire. Now, as you can see behind me, we have RM765 in bits. Well, not in lots of bits, in just a couple of bits. We are doing some... No, I don't like all that bollocks. I don't like that bollocks. That's all bollocks. It's all bollocks!
So now we've got the rocker covers removed, the next job is to start setting the tappets. So the first thing to do is to go inside the bus and remove the flywheel trap. Then one of us will be in there moving the engine round by hand, and the other person out here watching which rocker is moving. That way we can... And then the other person out here watching which rocker is moving, and then I've stopped. Now there's various different ways to set tappets, and the way I use is the number of cylinders plus 1. So what you do is, say we're setting number 3, you add up to 7. So when... Stop again. Tappets. There's various different ways to set tappets, and the way I use is the number of cylinders plus 1. So it's a 6-cylinder engine, so plus 1 is 7. So if we start with number 1, plus... I did alright in maths at school.
Brie, that's all, folks.